Dude! Dude! Oh my gosh. No way. No. Oh. I'm just kidding. Alright you guys, so I'm going to dive right into it. In this first frame here, you're going to see a board state. And there's a couple things I wanted to really go over in this board state. So on the left hand side, you've got a timer, which is such a big deal. We really don't want anyone just timing out or disconnecting or anything like that. At least the timer allows you to progress the game in these types of situations. On the right hand side, it looks like it'll go over the phases, like draw phase, main phase, etc. But there's a couple things to note here about gameplay that I can just pick up just by looking at this board state. So obviously your deck's on the right hand side. On the left hand side, you have a raising area, and the Agumon to the left of Tai actually has a multiplier at the very bottom of the card. And to me, that means that Agumon probably has a Digivolution source or an egg, which to me kind of communicates that it came from raising, and that is a basic mechanic in the Digimon TCG, which is why I think it's going to be very similar to the original physical card game. What I will say is it could definitely be a very simplified form, and I think it'll be closer to a Pokemon TCG Pocket that was just released, I think, last year. Now, there's a lot of cool things to note here too. For starters, you can see that the logo on the middle of the on the player side, you can see how much security they have. So they have 5 security. That to me looks like security. It could also mean like what level the player is, but to me that looks like a shield. So to me that hits me like it is security. And then you have a logo of the player, so you might be able to customize your own logo. It might be actually the Digimon that I'll show you in the next frame. But on the top right hand side, you will actually see a few things that I think are really cool. So there's 2 buttons. The button that's being covered up by the border looks like a settings button, but below that looks like a pen. And what I am reading into that a little bit is like a chat. So I'm not sure that we will have a chat system, but we may have a chat system, right? And on the top right hand side, same as the bottom left hand side, you will see like a like a macro view of what's going on in the board state. So your opponent right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, has a total of 8 cards in their hand, 2 eggs in raising, and 34 cards in deck. While you, on the other hand, on the bottom left hand side, you can't really see that because that's covered up by the border. But there's another cool thing that I really wanted to point out here too. It is that the full art cards have some sort of like motion graphic to them, and I'll show you a video. Alright, so that was super cool. It was like on the bottom left hand side, you can see the Omnimon and Wargreymon full arts kind of get this wavy motion with their holographic, with their foil. But this frame right here was interesting to me too, because it looks to me like you get to pick a Digimon partner that you can be partnered with essentially, and like raise and gain experience through battling online or battling through the story. And hopefully this partner will show up on your board state in the game during your battles and kind of either cheer you on or maybe like throw some attacks when you're able to attack security. Just some cool animation or effects like that will really add to the flavor of the battle system and make things really graphically appealing or aesthetically pleasing. Now, one of the things that I am curious about is, will they make this kind of like partly in-app purchase in terms of like accessing Digimon? I hope they don't necessarily do that route. I hope there's some sort of currency that we can convert back and forth between in-game purchases and maybe buying physical packs and like redeeming these codes like Pokemon does with the physical packs to unlock certain Digimon. I think that would be cool. But as far as like just spending like $5 to get an Impmon, or you know, like a Pagumon egg. Like I'm not too much a fan of that style. Alright, so in this part of the trailer, you actually see how the deck building is done. You get a little bit of a glimpse into the deck building. And yeah, as you can see below each egg on the left-hand side, what you have are like the quantities of cards or the copies that you have. So, for example, Koromon, there's like 18 copies, 3 copies of Kapurimon, 1 copy of Demi V, etc., etc. Now, on the right-hand side, you see the number of eggs and the number of cards. So 5 and 50. And you basically, I'm assuming there's a drag and drop like mechanism here, because on mobile apps it'll be touchscreen. So you probably just drag the cards over and drop them. But I really like that on the top right-hand side, there's a filter section. So you'll be able to filter out, hopefully through sets, cards, Digimon names, types of art. These are all things that that will really be helpful in being able to filter out what we need. And as far as the bottom options are concerned, like the buttons, I'm not too sure. I can't read the text. But yeah, this looks pretty promising to me. Everything looks very simple, which is why, again, this is kind of hitting me more like a Pokemon TCG Pocket. But we'll see. I mean, Digimon is starting to get pretty complicated going into BT21, so I don't know how they would be able to code everything into being able to play the physical form of the game in a mobile app just yet, which is probably why we are going to get a simplified version. And now we are finally here at the matchmaking slide of the game. So you can see, like, when you're looking for a matchup or when you finally have a matchup, I think this is, you've got like 1 second in before you decide on a deck to play, and then you end up facing your opponent. On the right hand side, I guess on the left hand side you could see a couple things, right? The logo, the small looking logo below the login name or the in-game name, to me that looks like a rank, right? That's probably like what your rank is, but it could also be the border around your image. That could also be a rank. So I assume there's going to be a ranking system here. Bottom of that, you'll see card group. So you could probably choose which deck to play, and you'll probably have like a few seconds to decide on what deck to play. Not sure if this is like the right route to go. Maybe you should decide on a deck and then matchmake, but I mean, I could be totally wrong on this, but it looks like you can go up and down and choose what card group you wanna use, right? Or what deck. It also looks like there's a button where the Omnimon is. I'm not sure what that looks like, but the button to me looks more like an exchange button. Like there's an arrow going to the left and an arrow going to the right, which means that you can probably interchange certain things. But again, if you're like talking about switching up your deck or making changes to your deck, I would probably do that before you matchmake, so I could be totally wrong on this. So as you can see here in this image, you can see kind of like the booster pack openings. It looks like there's 2 highlighted cards, so this guy might have been really lucky getting 2 pulls in a 6-card pack. And one of the things that I'm hoping really just for this section is that there's a way to connect the physical card game with this new app. So I'm hoping that we get code cards similar to Pokemon or something that allows us to kind of collect the physical card game and have some sort of value to bring to the app because we do. And all right, guys, there you have it. Those are some of the things that you may or may not have missed, and just shared some of my opinions on Digimon Alysion, Alysion, I don't know, dude. But yeah, these are some of the things that you may or may not have missed with the trailer that was just revealed. They mentioned at Digicon that closed beta applications should be starting soon. Now, I don't know if that's just going to be Japan-based. I have a feeling it's going to have a team based in the West as well to kind of take care of the English portion of the app. and also share some feedback. Hopefully some of the stuff that we've seen is not the final product aesthetically. I do have some questions regarding like the environment in the battle state or the board state, but I mean, overall I'm just so excited that we have an app in the works to begin with. But that's it for me, my first video back. So I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, feel free to like this video. It does mean a lot to me. And I think it's really cool. It motivates me to make new videos and continue and keep up the news and all that. So deck lists and stuff like that will be coming soon. But I'm going to be catering this content moving forward to try and build a collector community. I think Digimon's missing piece is a collector community. A solid community that gets cards graded, fills up binders with sets, and is able to trade, buy, and sell Digimon singles and cards to a greater capacity. So I hope that as a community, we'll be able to focus ourselves on also sharing our collection and trading our collection and showcasing it to pretty much everybody that plays card games. Digimon is a card game that people should check out, period. But yeah, that's it. Take care.